Good evening, all my fellow Skolgers. Welcome to the 19th installment of Zafa Talk. And right now, for the first time ever, we are doing this live on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Zafa_gaming. If you guys are watching this on the YouTube channel, obviously the live has already ended. But here we are, doing this live. It's going to be a longer episode as we are 6 days away from Vikings kickoff. Very excited. The chat is excited to be here. The mods are here. It's going to be a good episode. Maybe the best episode we've ever done here on Zafa Talk. So excited to put this one out there. Live on Twitch right now. Adam says we're going 17-0. That would be dope. We're going to go over our season predictions for the Vikings, or at least my season predictions, and chat's going to weigh in on their choices as well. And we're going to try and, keep a level head and be realistic, but the hype is here. The hype is here. Preseason's done. First game kicks off this Thursday night. Detroit Lions, Kansas City Chiefs. So exciting. Cannot wait. Can we start with saying Vikings are better than the Chargers, says Matt, Medieval Viking. We're going to get to that. SkolNBolts co-host Cactus Joe is not here because this is a Zafa Talk and not a SkolNBolts podcast. The Vikings play the Chargers in week 3, and we're gonna talk about that game for sure. For sure. Very exciting episode. It's been a great night. Great streams here. If you're not already following my Twitch at twitch.tv/Zafa_gaming, please do. We have a lot of fun. We do talk a lot of football, especially this time of year, and we play fun games, and we just have a good time. So please, if you're not already followed there, please do. It's free. And if you're not already subscribed to the SkolNBolts YouTube channel, please do that. We're just trying to grow. This is the second season that we have been live as a channel. We have the podcast, and now we've branched out with the Zafa Talk for a little solo Minnesota Vikings conversations, as well as now we're going to be uploading Madden clips to the YouTube channel as well, and probably more series to come, because this isn't just necessarily a podcast channel. There's more to this. So stay tuned for that. Tonight, strictly a Zafa Talk, but with the twist of a live Twitch chat as we record this. So buckle up. It's going to be a good one. Like I said, 6 days away from kickoff to week 1 for the Minnesota Vikings. Tampa Bay Buccaneers come to town at US Bank Stadium. Crowd's going to be rocking. We got the throwback jerseys that we're wearing. I personally bought myself a Justin Jefferson jersey in the throwback. Super excited. Adam says easy dub. Honestly, I kind of feel the same, not gonna lie. I believe two of our viewers here, Purge and Medieval Viking, are gonna be at the game, if I'm not mistaken. If you guys are, let me know in the chat right now. Baker Mayfield taking over the Tampa Bay Bucks. Definitely some mighty shoes to fill in the GOAT, Tom Brady, but on paper, you look at this matchup, it's two division winners from last season facing off, but two vastly different teams. Medieval Viking says we are 6 points favorites, but I hope they don't feel that. Absolutely. You look at the two teams last season, both won their respective divisions. The Vikings, though, with a 13-4 record versus the Bucks in probably the weakest division in football, for sure in the NFC, taking the NFC South. They squeaked in, and I believe they were beaten by the Dallas Cowboys in the first round. Unfortunately, we know what happened to the Vikings in the first round. We're not going to talk about that. Purge says Bud Grant patches as well. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Let's go. RIP to the legendary Bud Grant. We covered that in the past on the Zafa Talk series. The patches are an awesome addition. And Purge, I know that you got that. And you guys will be at that game. That's exciting. That's super awesome. So, different team. Both are different teams for sure. The Vikings, a new look offense with the departures of Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen, but the addition of Jordan Addison, who could be a wild card this season for the team. Looked good in camp, looked good in preseason. He sat out the second game, maybe even the third. I don't remember if he sat out the third game. with the concussion. But the first preseason game, he looked good. Had a catch taken away from him. That was definitely a catch. Let's be honest here. Preseason refs, whatever. Forget about it. It is what it is. But I think JJ on one side, you got Jordan on the other side. KJ obviously in the mix. TJ Hawkinson, if you saw in the last Zafa Talk episode, you already know. Re-signed. Got the deal done with TJ. Great news. Hawkinson with the big contract as well. Offense is going to be a fun ride this season, says Purge. Absolutely. Probably the most excited I've been about this offense since Kirk Cousins joined back in 2018. And it's been an up and down ride for as far as the record goes. I'm a Kirk Cousins guy. Vikings fans might slay me in the comments because we know that we're split right down the middle. There's no in between. You either love Kirk or you hate Kirk. So be it. I don't understand how you hate Kirk. Let's be real here. Anyways, I think the Vikings are going to have one of the more explosive offenses in the entire league. For sure the NFC. Kirko chains, says Adam. Absolutely. I love seeing him break out of his shell outside of the Zimmer era. Coach Kevin O'Connell. Love that man. Can't say enough good things about him. So going into week 1, at home, US Bank Stadium. We know how electric that crowd is. We know. And, Baker Mayfield in a new team again. I'm really not afraid of the Tampa Bay Bucks. Maybe that's, not the greatest thing. It's week 1. There could be some rust. Kirk did not play in the preseason, which I agree with. I think that's a smart decision. But, maybe there's some rust there. I'm not concerned, though. I'm not concerned. If you look at week 1 of last season against the Packers at home, we dominated them on all fronts. So, I think we can handle Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucks. I really do. And I see some Viking fans, as always. Viking fans are very fickle on social media. We're complaining because the Vikings did not win a preseason game. Who gives a shit? I'll say it right there. Who gives a shit? Doesn't matter. So week 1, let's go. Tampa Bay Bucks, Sunday, September 10th at noon Central Time. Matt says, just give him a drive or two to get warmed up. Absolutely. I don't even think it'll take that long. To be honest, I really don't. I think that he'll be just fine. So Tampa Bay comes to Minneapolis. We didn't win one last year and went on that big run. Oh man. Tampa Bay at Vikings. I like the Vikings at home in this one. I like 27-13. I think we handle them. Brian Flores' defense is going to bring the pressure. I'm not saying that our defense is going to be significantly better than they were last year. You can't get any worse, let's be honest. But Baker Mayfield, not concerned. I'm sorry. I'm a Baker fan. I like Baker. I've talked about him on the SkolNBolts podcast. But, yeah, I'm not afraid. Matt, Medieval Viking, says the Vikings 31-17. I like that too. That's a good one. Okay, so immediately after week 1, we go to a Thursday game just 4 days later. Prime time, Thursday night football, Lincoln Financial Field against the defending NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, if we think back to last season, week 2 in Philly, did not go good. It did not go good at all. Nope. It was tough. And I think that the Eagles are going to be a solid team again. I do. I'm not going to lie. I think that they are going to be good. Here's my thing. I feel like the Vikings are going to bring a bigger fight to them than they did last season. And I'm not saying that they didn't bring the fight to them. We were one Irv Smith Jr. drop away from being in that game. That drop on that touchdown for Irv Smith changed the whole trajectory of the game. It did. And it ended up poor. Kirk Cousins turned the ball over, 3 times? It was not great. But we would have been in that game And I think that we have improved slightly. Adam says, I'm honestly scared for week 2. Roller coaster of emotions, especially after the Bucs game. I agree. Now, here's where my head's at. I think that we are a capable team of beating the Philadelphia Eagles on the road. But on the road in prime time, for whatever reason, there is that stigma with Kirk Cousins. And I'm a Kirk boy, 100%. Matt says, it all depends how Madison plays and our defense. The defense is critical. Obviously, they brought back big play Slay. I'm gonna speak from my brain and not my heart. In this one, I think that the Vikings do drop this game. I think it's much closer than last season. I'm thinking like a 24-21 game, somewhere in that vicinity. We just can't force JJ the ball. That's how we got the interception, says Medieval Viking. That is 100% true. Absolutely true. Hopefully with Jordan Addison on the other side, TJ Hawkinson. We did not have Hawkinson, remember, for that last time. Anything can happen. I'm just going to speak from my brain, say we drop this one in a close game, and we go into week 3 at 1-1. Which brings us to the intriguing game for this channel. For this channel's audience, this is an intriguing game in week 3, Sunday, September 24th at noon Central Time. The LA Chargers come to US Bank to face the Vikings. SkolNBolts. For those new here, SkolNBolts. I, Zafa, am the Vikings fan. My co-host of the podcast is a Chargers fan. That's what makes this podcast a little bit unique. If you're watching this video right now, Zafa Talk, this is separate from the podcast, strictly Vikings fan here. I want it to be known that I would say this to Cactus Joe, and I have. I 100% am on board and believe that the Vikings will beat the Chargers. Kirko Chains versus social media QB. How about that, says Purge. Medieval Vikings says the Chargers leave their rented stadium to come to ours to get that work. Let's talk here. The Vikings in recent years have had the Chargers number. The last few times that we played them on the road, we had the number. Now we're back home. Now, the Chargers are a better team than they get credit for, in my opinion. They have the talent. Justin Herbert, in my opinion, is a solid quarterback. I truly believe that Herbert is a solid quarterback. They have a very good running back in Austin Eckler. Keenan Allen, he's getting up there, but he's good. I know that they drafted a wide receiver. I can't remember his name. My bad. Sue me. And their defense, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, that's kind of up in the air where he's going to be. Asante Samuel Jr. They got some noise. They got some noise on that defense and on offense. But whenever we play there, obviously it feels like, more geared towards a home game for the Vikings. This time it's a legit home game. It's going to be loud. It will be. Medieval says, Keenan Allen will get 3 touchdowns, but we will win 32-21. Are you saying that because he's on your fantasy team? That's kind of what I'm picking up. No. My prediction, the Vikings do win this game. I do think it'll be a tight one. I think it'll be close. Maybe, says Medieval. He's in my fantasy league. I know he's got Keenan Allen. So, I feel like this will be a closer game. But I'm on board with the Vikings getting this dub. I think they do. I think at home they handle it. I think that they're the better team. I think it'll be a close game. I think the Chargers are going to be a respected team this season. Possibly even a playoff team in a stacked AFC conference. Stacked. But I like the Vikings. I think that they're just a better roster overall. That's my prediction. Brandon Staley on the hot seat, says Adam. You're probably not wrong. Let's be real here. You're probably not wrong. All right, let's move on now. Week 4. So the Vikings, I got them 2-1 right now, going into week 4, October 1st at noon in Carolina, facing off against the one, the only Mr. Minnesota, Adam Thielen on his new squad. That's going to be weird. It's already weird seeing him just suited up in an opposite uniform from the Vikings. Adam Thielen, we covered it here when he left. Love Adam Thielen. We'll always love Adam Thielen. Thank you for all the countless memories. But now you're the enemy. You're the enemy. Vikings and Panthers. We're on the road. It doesn't really matter to me, though. Bryce Young, we don't know what he's going to look like. By week 4, I don't think that he's going to be a serious threat to us. They got, Miles Sanders picked up. It's not enough. Their defense could be decent. I read today that Brian Burns, there's been some issues there, though. Potential holdout, I should say. Don't know where that's going yet. They're hoping that he'll be there for week 1 against Atlanta, but trouble there. I'm sorry, but the Vikings are better than the Panthers. They are. I'm not worried. Vikings 3-1 leaving that game. That's just the way it is for me. 3-1. I got the Vikings 3-1 going into the next game, which is a home game. Adam says Bryce Young will probably be like an undercooked chicken, very raw. They don't get it done. Agreed. I'm not saying that he can't be good, but by that point, nah. All right, so Vikings 3-1. 3-1 going into the next week at home. This is a tough one. The Vikings hosting the defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, if he's healthy by then, that'd be the first time we play him. Because last time we played the Chiefs, it was their backup. And we still lost. But we don't need to talk about that. I want to be confident here and say, because we are at home, Patrick Mahomes is a beatable quarterback. If the right environment and the right defense is against him, you got to be able to keep up with their offense. Travis Kelce, we all know how that is. Purchase. Shout out to Netflix show Quarterbacks, amazing show. 100%. Incredible program. If you have not watched Quarterbacks on Netflix, finish this video and go watch it. Seriously. Unbelievable. And Mahomes and Kirk Cousins, 2 of the 3 on that show, were so good. They were so good. So much respect for both of them. I already had a respect for both of them, but man, watch that show if you have not. Medieval Viking says Daniil Hunter will put my homeboy in a box. That would be nice. That'd be awesome. And I do think our defense is going to improve from last season. Is it enough to beat the defending Super Bowl champs and the defending NFL MVP? I so want to tell you guys yes. Shootout Chiefs game versus Vikings. It has to be. If the Vikings want to beat the Chiefs, they have to keep pace. It's so hard to sit here and say we need to shut down Travis Kelce. There is no shutting down Travis Kelce. We can't get worse, really? That's very true. Chris Jones back or not by this week? Well, you said, what do you say, back by week 8? So that would mean no, but anything can happen in that time. That would be a huge help for the Vikings. Chiefs have lost Juju Smith-Schuster. They could be without Chris Jones. We're at home. That's likely to be game of the week. Okay. My heart says that we can pull this off. And I know that we can. I'm going to be blatantly honest here. I'm going to say this one gets away from us and we lose a close one on like a Harrison Butker field goal. The Chiefs take it and we go 3-2. 3-2. Depends if his GoFundMe reaches the money. I'm going to say we drop that one. 3-2 going into the next week. It's pretty sad about that loss. I'm pretty sad about that loss now. Understandable. Next week, October 15th at noon, Vikings travel to Chicago to face the Bears. The Bears. Yo, if y'all are a Vikings fan and you're on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, y'all know just how annoying Bears fans are. Actually ridiculous. New follow coming in live on the Zafa Talk episode here. Ali Terrio, I hope I said that right. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Welcome to Zafa Talk. I appreciate that. And I hope you're having a wonderful night. Overhyped Bears. Duh, Bears. Apparently I'm missing something because Chicago fans seem to think that Justin Fields is the next Tom Brady. Someone tell me what am I missing here? What am I missing? Justin Fields has the potential to be an absolute stud in fantasy football. Where the hell are we seeing these things where he should be considered the savior that's going to lead the Bears to the playoffs, a division title? Where is that? Because if I remember, you won week 1 and beat the 49ers, and then you ended up with the first overall pick? Or, no, I'm sorry, not the first overall pick. One of the worst records. My bad. Can't throw to save his life. Trash. Most of his fantasy points will come from garbage time and running the ball. Running the ball. Vikings take this game. They take the game. Vikings beat the Bears. I don't care if it's on the road. And it seems like historically the Vikings have had some issues at Soldier Field. I won't deny that. But come on. What are we doing here? 4-2 after this game. The Vikings beat the Bears. That's where I'm at. Soldier Field is cursed. I disagree. We've changed that narrative the last few years. We really have. All right, moving on. Primetime game. Another primetime game against a tough opponent. A tough opponent here. Again, though, a tough opponent. This time primetime at home. The San Francisco 49ers come to town to take on the Vikings. October 23rd, 7:15 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to say this. I do not believe that the Niners have the best defense in the league. I know they have a good one. They got a good one. Let me say this. Adam, you might have a problem with this, but I'm going to say it. Brock Purdy, I'm not sold. I am not sold that he is what they expect him to be. He had that great run. I'm not convinced. I'm not. Christian McCaffrey at this point in the season, will he be healthy? Medieval Viking says we will take down their Purdy little quarterback. I love that. Adam says Brock Purdy was an ISU legend. I'm not denying that, and he had a great campaign last season. I think the Vikings beat the Niners at home. I do. We don't have to play in San Francisco for once. Not really afraid of Brock Purdy. Their defense is nasty, don't get me wrong. But I think the Vikings at home can take that. I got us winning that ball game. Yeah, I guess at 5-2. 5-2 after that one. Yeah, I like that. You can see that? Okay, Adam can see that. Moving on, another divisional game, another divisional road game. The Vikings traveling to Lambeau Field, October 29th at noon. 100% the Vikings. Jordan Love, no more Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love, they don't have Alan Lazard. They don't have Randall Cobb, obviously. Not that they were, like, terrific. They still have a decent defense, don't get me wrong. Jordan Love, zero fear. The Vikings, 6-2. Beat the Packers on the road. That's a W. Anyone want to argue? I guarantee no one in this chat's going to argue. If you have a solid argument, and put it in the comments, I guess. Whatever. Packers equals trash. Subscribe if you hate the Packers. Let's go. You heard the man. Subscribe if you hate the Packers on either my Twitch, which, I mean, you can just follow the Twitch. You don't have to subscribe. But subscribe to the YouTube channel. So, yeah, no objections, obviously. This is obviously a biased chat, but come on. Even Packers fans have to have... Okay, I was going to say Packers fans have to have some sort of a brain, but... Anywho. 6-2 going into the next game. Another road game. Back-to-back road games. Another NFC conference rival. Not a rival, but a conference opponent. Non-division. November 5th at noon, the Vikings play in Atlanta against the Falcons. A little different look this year. By this point in the season, will it be Ritter? Will it be Heineke? Bijan Robinson, obviously. Not afraid. I'm sorry, but Atlanta, not afraid. Don't care if it's on the road. 7-2 Vikings. Perch says, we obviously see what Packers are. They pose next to trash bins, literally. That's a fact. We've seen it in person. Desmond Ridder, the starter. We'll see. I think they announced him to be, but how long will that last? I think the Heineke experiment probably won't get too much momentum going. I think he's there to be a backup. And if you know, on this podcast, Cactus Show obviously loves his Taylor Heineke. I like Taylor Heineke, don't get me wrong. But I think it's Ritter's team to lose. But, yeah, I think Vikings take it. Again. So where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Holy shit, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-2. I got the Vikings. 7-2 after this one. So this is where things are going to start getting interesting, and people might talk shit about this. 7-2 going into the next week at home on November 12th at noon. Those nasty, nasty Saints come to Minneapolis, US Bank Stadium. Derek Carr taking over. By then, Alvin Kamara should be back, obviously. I'm sorry, I like the Vikings in this one too. We're at home. I think the Saints are going to be an interesting team to watch this season. Strong push to be their division champions. I'd probably pick the Saints to win their division is kind of what I'm thinking. I don't think the Saints head coach is head coach material, says Adam. That's entirely possible. We're going to find that out. It's going to be interesting to watch that South division because I think it's going to come down to, Carolina and New Orleans, in my opinion. I think New Orleans will probably take it with Derek Carr. But in this game, I like the Vikings over them. I'm sorry. I do. Call me biased. I am. But show me a statistic that tells me they're going to beat us. Just saying. So I got the Vikings 8-2 coming out of that game. 8-2. That's solid. That's what I'm looking at right now. When we move into the next round, or the next week, I should say, another primetime game. My goodness. We got some primetime games this week, or this season. November 19th, 7:20 p.m., the Vikings are in the Mile High City against the Denver Broncos. Broncos country. Let's ride. I don't have a gauge on what the Broncos look like this season. Obviously, we know how last season went. funny because I don't want to be this guy who's just going to keep doing this. Broncos may be good. I think they will definitely be better than they were last season. I do. I think the Broncos will be better. We're sitting at 8-2 right here. On the road against the Broncos. Will they have their shit together is the question. Will they have their shit together? I think they might, and they'll be a better team than they were. I think the Vikings still take it. They again can't get much worse, says Viking. Yes. Adam says, is this the one where they lay a goose egg and maybe another greatest comeback in NFL history? There's always one, isn't there? Perch says, I'll say this. I picked the Broncos for my first game in my elimination bracket last season. They effed me over. Broncos riding without a saddle, no good. That is so fair and so true. Understandable. You're right, Adam. There always seems to be one that fucks us over. I'm optimistic that that's not going to come this season in a game that, like, we should win. Like I gave us the Chiefs and the Eagles, the two Super Bowl teams. I'm going to say that we win this. I do. And, oh my gosh, that makes us 9-2. People are going to think I'm crazy. People are going to think I'm crazy. But I don't give a fuck. It's just what I believe. It is just what I believe. I'm going 9-2. 9-2. Which brings us to the next week, which is another primetime game. November 27th, 7:15 p.m. This time we're at home. And again, it's the Chicago Bears. Which again, at home especially, I don't see us losing. We're at 10-2 right now, boys. We're at 10-2. This is madness. I know. This is madness. But I'm going. This is where we're at right now. The next week, or this isn't the next week. I think we have bye after that. But next game, December 10th at 3:05 p.m. The Vikings are in Vegas. Vegas, baby. Against the Raiders. Without Derek Carr. With Jimmy G. Will Jimmy G still be healthy by then? Oh, excuse me. Who knows? Vikings win this game too. 11-2. My God. It's happening. It's happening, chat. This is crazy. 11-2. 11-2. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, 7 days later, December 17th, Vikings are in Cincinnati. The Bengals. Vikings and Bengals. Last game came down to a Dalvin Cook fumble, which was not a fumble. But beyond that, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. I'm going to count this one as a loss on the road. Especially down in December football. Joe Burrow, I'm a big fan. That electric offense. These guys are a solid team for years to come. Adam says tough. Agreed. I'm going to give us a loss there. 11-3 with the Bengals. 11-3. Okay, so that leaves us with 3 games to go. Who day? Stupid. Who day? Nah, I like Cincinnati, actually, though. I do like Cincinnati. Okay, so we're sitting at 11-3, and there's 3 games to go. Now, I'm going to say this. My final prediction right now, I think the Vikings... Wow, now that I think about it, last season I said the exact same record, 12-4 or 12 and no, never mind. No. I said 12-5 last season. This season I'm going 13-4, which was our record from last season. Final 3 games is Lions at Vikings, Packers at Vikings, Vikings at Lions. I think we beat the Packers and sweep them, and I think we split with the Lions. I think it's more likely that we lose in Detroit, but I think that it goes hand in hand. I think we split with the Lions. So, your boy has the Vikings at 13-4. All the analysts say we're going 9-8, 8-9. Some say 7-10. Lions fans think that we're going third place in the division to the basement. One of the two. 13-4 division winners. That is my prediction. So the final 3 games, I'll just go Christmas Eve, Vikings beat the Lions at home. New Year's Eve, Vikings beat the Packers at home. January 7th, Lions beat the Vikings on the road and get into the playoffs. I think the Lions will be a wild card playoff team. Vikings take the NFC North again, 13-4 record. That is where we're at right now. Obviously, these are just my predictions. Yes, they are biased, but at the same time, I'm trying to pick with my head. When I look at this record, there's some difficult games. One that could, go hand in hand, the Niners game. I picked us at home. That could be flipped because obviously they're an NFC Championship team. But at home, I think that we can beat them. I think that we are a dark horse team to be there again. I said it last season. I'm saying it again. And last season, we proved the doubters wrong with one of the worst defenses in the frickin' league. I do believe that our defense will be better. They can't be any worse. Brian Flores is going to make them more aggressive and more fun to watch. And even if we're in the top 20 as a defense, that automatically makes us a better team. I'm not going to get into playoff brackets and the entire NFC, AFC breakdown on this episode. We'll talk about that when a Skull and Bolts gets done. We'll go over that. But the Vikings, in my opinion, NFC North Division champions. And they will, mark my words, win at least one playoff game this season. Adam says, Blobfish Ed Donatel. Absolutely. If you are a follower of the stream, you probably know what that means, or in the Discord server. By the way, if you're new here to the YouTube channel, subscribe, first of all, please. That would be awesome. Check out the stream, twitch.tv/Zafa_game. We play fun games. We play Madden Ultimate Team. We've been doing Grand Theft Auto role-playing, which has been a lot of fun. We play all kinds of random shit. We sit and just talk football sometimes. During the season, expect Thursday night game, Sunday night game, Monday night game, just chatting during the game. Obviously, I can't show that on stream, but we'll be talking while we watch the game. It's going to be fun. So you're missing out if you're not a subscriber to the YouTube channel, and especially on the stream. The Vikings have such a high ceiling, and I don't see them, minus a catastrophic injury, being too much of a disappointment. I think that, an 11-6 to 13-4 record is definitely. I think a 14-3 record is probably our ceiling. That's where I'll probably cap us out at. 11-6, at worst 10-7, but I don't see that. I think we're better than that. Perch says, Amazon sponsor your boy so we can watch it together. Amazon, if you're watching, please. I love you. I work for you. I'm a Twitch streamer. And Adam says, if Kirko gets hurt, I will legit cry. We're not going to put that energy into the air. Kirko is going to be fine, and we're all going to rejoice at this Viking season. This could be a very special season. It definitely could be. So, man, I'm excited. 6 days. 6 days to go. It's going to be a wild ride, y'all. It's going to be fun. Week 1 in the NFL season. Before we end this episode, let's talk a little bit of fantasy football, just because we're here. We'll go over my team, which was just drafted yesterday. Now, play in a 12-team PPR league. Can't believe it's almost Zuba's time, says Purge Rebellion. Yes, the Viking Zubas that Purge Rebellion is known for. They're coming out. I got my Jefferson jersey, my brand new Jefferson jersey throwback. I'm so excited. Before we go real quick, let's go over 12-team PPR league. Your boy got the 12th pick. Bittersweet. Yes, you get back-to-back picks, but after the back-to-back picks, you wait 22 picks before your next pick. I said picks a lot in that sentence. Well, this is how I came out. My apology. There we go. This is how we came out. Your boy Kirko. I was looking for Justin Herbert. Yeah. He disappeared before we had the chance. The team name is Big Cock Energy. KOC. Obviously, Vikings fans know what that means. Love that. Tony Pollard at running back, I really like. I think he has so much upside for being a really good fantasy running back this season. Running backs were thin, especially in a 12-team PPR league. James Cook, he's the solidified number one back going into the season for Buffalo with Devin Singletary gone. So that's why I grabbed him. Amon-Ra St. Brown, lot of upside to him. I'm very high on this kid. I think he's going to have a strong season again. I think Jared Goff doesn't get enough credit for like the relationship he has, especially with Amon-Ra. I think he's poised to have I can't even say a breakout season because he was so strong last year. He's going to have another good one. Deebo Samuel could potentially surrender some touches to Brandon Ayuk and Brock Purdy. We don't know how he's necessarily going to look on the season. And if he has issues, then their guy is Sam Darnold. So it's a little bit riskier pick, but I mean, he gets, touches, out of the backfield too. So I feel like he's a safe pick to be a good player. Tight end Mark Andrews. I wanted TJ Hawkinson, but unfortunately he was sniped just before me. Mark Andrews is still a solid option, though he's typically a top 4 tight end in fantasy. Can't really complain. Just trying to find some depth. Tyler Lockett at flex. He's been consistent. He's not a guy who's going to, make or break your team necessarily, but he's going to be a consistent force, especially in the flex option. Took a little chance, someone that was on my radar going into the draft, Brandon Cooks, new team in Dallas. Yeah, he's getting up there a little bit, but you know what? I like the upside of Brandon Cooks on the Dallas Cowboys. Medieval Viking says, I wonder who got him. He's referring to TJ Hawkinson, in which that son of a bitch is the one who sniped him. Shout out Medieval Viking, though. He was pick 11. My defense, that was my very last pick. I just grabbed Panthers defense. They're facing Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta's going to be very good. And I usually play the waiver wire for defenses anyways. Khalil Herbert on my bench. I think that he's got a lot of upside. No more David Montgomery. Obviously, they picked up Deontay Foreman. But I mean, if you're looking at the general touches, not so great out of the pass game. Hopefully that changes, but definitely a good runner, Khalil Herbert. Took a little bit of a chance on Michael Thomas, new quarterback. If he can stay healthy, hopefully he can return to some form, something. Slant boy, we'll see what happens. But I mean, he was available later in the later rounds. I took him. Tyler Algier, strictly a roster filler. He had some promising moments last season, but I mean, Bijan Robinson, drafting him kind of killed any momentum or any chance at him having a strong season. Dared Soul coming to the chat says, bro, I'm SWAT now. That's talking about the roleplay server. Congratulations, bud. That's awesome. That's good news. A little backup tight end action. Juwan Johnson for the New Orleans Saints. I like that pick as like their primary pass catching tight end. I like that. I like that a lot. He's a depth move. Again, another roster filler. Kenneth Gainwell. Obviously, Philly's kind of loaded. They got Rashad Penny, Kenneth Gainwell, and DeAndre Swift. It's a roster filler. Again, 12 teams. It's tough. It's tough. I wanted to go potentially Bryce Young as my backup, but I chickened out, and I went with Matthew Stafford, who's a little bit safer. Now, obviously, him and Kirko are not your typical fantasy quarterback, like, wonders. Let's be real here. Excuse me. Because they're not going to get it done with their legs. And then Greg Dulcich, again, a third tight end who's pretty much just a roster filler. Because I was full up on receivers and running backs, and I didn't care to grab another defense. So that's where we're sitting. I'm projected, I think, the second most points. So, I mean, projections don't mean shit, but I'm projected to lose by 0.1 in my week 1 matchup. So take that as you may. I don't know. For what I had and what was available, I'm okay with it. I think I'm okay with it. Definitely could be worse. But that is what we're looking at for fantasy, and that's how I feel about the Vikings season right now. Obviously, that all is just saying if we can stay healthy and things go how I think that they can go. This has been a really fun video. This one, I can't believe it. The first time we've ever done a Zafa Talk live. Now, when you're watching this, obviously, like I said, it's not live anymore. But if you follow twitch.tv/Zafa_gaming, we'll probably do more of these, and then you can get in here, ask questions, put in your opinions, and I'm open to all feedback. Not only in the YouTube comments, but especially on stream. So if you want to join the conversation, subscribe to the channel. Leave comments letting me know how you feel. Follow the Twitch stream. You can subscribe to the Twitch stream if you want, but you don't have to. If you are an Amazon Prime member, you do have access to a free Prime sub on Twitch with Twitch Prime. But besides the point, just a follow, join the conversation, get in here. That's what this is all about. So, thank you to everyone who participated in the active chat for the Zafa Talk episode live on stream, and thank you for watching this. If you watched to this point on the YouTube video, I appreciate it. Please like the video, subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel and continue just moving forward. Where there's going to be more podcasts, there's going to be more Zafa Talks, there's going to be more Madden clips, there's going to be other series to be too. This is not just a podcast channel, YouTube channel. There's more to it, and we're going to continue to expand, and I'm excited to do that. So, to the Twitch chat, thank you for everyone for participating that has. I appreciate you guys. And to everyone watching the video, thank you. Like, subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. That'll do it for this episode of Zafa Talk, and there will probably be one more this week before the Vikings game. Don't hold me to that. Otherwise, stay tuned for a SkolNBolts episode before the Vikings and Chargers games, and I'll see you then. Follow me on Twitter if you don't already to talk about football or any other related things. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on TikTok. It's all here. Zafa_gaming. I love you guys. Hashtag Skol says Purge. Absolutely. To all my Skolgers, we love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Peace out, y'all.